and welcome to the end of year book tag. Usually I check in a couple of times a year and I do that in my twice a year tag, but that is for April and August. And now we are in November, which is mildly scary. So without further ado, I will jump into the end of year questions. Are there any books this year that you have started that you need to finish? Obviously yes, because I have been in a bad habit of picking up books, starting a couple at the same time and then not continuing the ones that I should. So one of the major ones that I really need to continue reading is the second Robin Hobb book. It is stacked up behind me on my to be read pile for the month, so I'm hoping that at the end of this month I can get to it because I'd ideally like to finish the trilogy this year. I don't think that is very realistic, but I really hope to. And then I also have The Lost War, which is a self-published fantasy book about an old veteran soldier going on this new quest for the king, and there's a lot of world building and demons and character integration here that I really enjoy. Even though it's multiple perspective, I feel like all of the characters have their own unique developing standpoints rather than just being very peripherally side characters. So it does have depth to it, but I just haven't made time to continue reading it. And I'm more than 100 pages into it, so I really need to do that. It feels very heavy. It's a very dense book, and I think that's what's putting me off, which is super petty, to be honest. Like, oh, this book is heavy, so I'm not going to read it. How silly when I've reread Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight series, and they are 1,000 pages per book. In comparison, this is nothing, so I need to really pull my finger out. I do also have a lot of books on hold at my library, which I did a recent to be read pile airing all of the shame of my library TBR. I just like the look of things and borrow them, and it doesn't have a financial impact on me because I'm not buying it for a book haul and then disliking it down the track. So I've really gone ham on borrowing a few things. So one of them is Terry Pratchett's Equal Rights, and this one is on my library holds list because I've borrowed it as an audiobook, and I'm really struggling with his earlier works, and this is the third book in his Discworld series, which is more than 20 or something books long. So this is really, really early. I think honestly that I'm going to end up trying this and then DNFing it, but because Dave bought these for me and he has a lot of nostalgia for Terry Pratchett, I'm going to try this one, but I don't think I'm going to continue with it. So this might be a very in and out scenario in terms of my reading pile. I do want to read more Terry Pratchett, but stuff that he's produced later, so it's not going to be the be all and end all with this book. My enjoyment of the series is not going to hinder on this. I will continue Terry Pratchett eventually, but I anticipate that the Terry Pratchett I've continued this year won't be one of these. I think I'm going to put this down. Then we've got, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year with? And I do have an autumnal book, but also in Australia it is spring, so I have some spring books as well. Firstly though, my autumnal book was on my November to be read plans, and so that one is The Justice of Kings, because how autumnal does this look? It's very fall focused, although I really hope it doesn't go the same path as Battle Mage, because that also is a very brown autumnal looking book, but I tried the writing style and I just did not like it, and I keep putting this on to be read videos, and at this point I just need to read 50 pages and see if it's my thing or not, so I think I'm going to be doing that very soon. Maybe it will get added to the first question of stuff I start this year that I actually need to finish. Who knows? Then for more spring books, I have Icebreaker, which is a book I've got on hold at my library. I'm looking forward to the audiobook because I love when it gets warmer because I get into more romance books. Honestly, I love romance all year round, but there is a special place for the brightness in spring. And that said, I also have Iris Kelly Doesn't Date, which I've been anticipating since early February, because the first two books in this companion trilogy came out previously and I marathon both of them at the beginning of the year, not realizing that I would have to wait all year for this new release, and now it is finally in my hands and I cannot tell you how excited I am about it. Then the next question is a new release that you are still waiting for, and I actually have a new release, and that is Bookshops and Bone Dust, which I got early from the publisher, so huge thank you to the Aussie publisher Pan Macmillan, because I am so happy to have this in my hands early. It's supposed to release, I think, mid-November, and I got it at the end of October. So I am more than halfway through this and I'm quite enjoying myself. But then there was another author who was one of my favorites who released or announced and released a book this year, which was completely unexpected. So thank you, Sebastian de Castell, for that plot twist in my life, because Something of Chaos, I think Crucible of Chaos, is coming out on the 7th of December. So I very neatly snuck that into my family's Christmas wish list for me, hoping that maybe someone will buy it for me for Christmas. So that is one that I'm highly anticipating because it's a Greatcoats spin-off and I loved the Greatcoats. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Did not expect whatsoever. I thought something next year might come out from him, and it still might, but this just got delightfully slipped into the end of the year, so thank you and Merry Christmas to me. Additionally, for new releases, these aren't until 2024, so they don't really apply to my 2023 need to read it and get it off my to be read pile list. This is more, I am looking into the far future, and I'm super excited about 3 books actually, and those 3 books are by 3 favorite authors. One is a little too familiar, and that is by Leigh Bardugo. I think it's a new either adult fantasy or urban fantasy by her, and I'm hugely a fan. I cannot wait. That one is April, I think. And then another April release that I'm dying to read is Silver Under Nightfall sequel, which is Court of Wanderers. Vampire, polyamorous, romance. I'm all for it. It's just like all my favorite things combined into mushed one book. I need it, and I thought it was going to come out in October, and then the release date got pushed back, and then I was heartbroken. So April next year is going to be a wild time, and I'm hugely excited for it. But then additionally, Casey McQuiston announced that they are publishing a new book, and I think it's called The Pairing. I think. And it's another male romance releasing August next year. And I am beyond excited for that too, because I just recently reread Red, White and Royal Blue. And of course I loved it all over again. And I basically need anything more that Casey McQuiston can put together in regards of chemistry and yearning and secrecy and romance and attraction. I need it in my life. So August next year is going to be super wild and exciting as well. The next question is, what are 3 books that you are wanting to read before the end of the year? And I think I've talked about a few of them already, but I may as well say them again. If nothing else, it hits home that I actually need to pull my act together, because The Lost War obviously is one of them. I've also got Justice of Kings, which I would love to finish. And then hopefully, if I can squeeze it in, Foundryside by Robert Jackson Bennett. I think this is another sci-fi fantasy blend. I'm looking forward to it. It's about a thief who has to steal something from a very highly guarded warehouse, and I think she gets caught up in politics or scandals or something. I'm really excited about this, especially after I recently read City of Stairs in my October wrap up and gave it 5 stars. I'm looking forward to reading more from this author, and I can't wait to continue that series as well, which kind of leads me into my next question, which is there a book that you think could still shock you and become a 5-star read of this year? City of Stairs definitely shocked me, and I only just finished reading it at the end of October, so I don't know if it would necessarily count for this tag, but I think it's the only one that I'm willing to put forward. I've really had an up and down reading year, and a lot of books that I thought would be incredible turned out to be okay rather than amazing for me. So I really don't want to put like almost all my eggs in one basket and say, I'm gonna love X, Y, and Z books, and then realize, oh, actually I don't love those books as much as I thought I would. So I think I'm just going to play it safe and say City of Stairs. I really would like to say Foundryside. I really hope I love Foundryside, but I'm going to stick safely with City of Stairs. And then I believe that this is the final question on this tag, and that is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? Obviously I have. Who hasn't at this point? I'm always projecting and looking forward for my reading plans and for new releases. Obviously, if I've looked into April and August, I'm very keen. Additionally though, I usually set end of year videos and start of year videos. So like worst books, best books, all the books I put down during the year, that kind of thing. And looking forward for my reading goals of how many books I want to read, which ones I want to conquer off my reading pile. Speaking of which, A Day of Fallen Night back here should be read in 2024. And if it's not, then that's like the ultimate shame, because I need to at least start it, try it, and see if I want to continue with it, because the audiobook really wasn't my thing. So if I can't finish it physically, I don't know how to help myself. Other than that, next year I usually look into new releases for January, and the recurring release that usually happens is by Sean and Maguire. There's usually a new fantasy novella in the Wayward Children series, and I believe the one that is coming out next year is Mislaid in Parts Unknown, and it has dinosaurs in it. Sign me up. I'm looking forward to that. I think it's early January that it releases, like the 9th or something. And then we've also got the Atlas Complex, which is coming out as well, which is the conclusion to the Atlas 6 series by Olivia Blake. But also I have really dropped the ball on the Dresden Files, and I've been waiting for Dave to read ahead of me, but I think next year I might just need to start my reread of them, and then maybe I can redo my reviews and everything, because they are way outdated. And also, since I filmed them, I've had jaw surgery, so I feel this like otherness looking at those videos now. It probably doesn't matter to anyone else, but anyway, my point is I do want to reread Dresden, refresh all of my memory of the series in general and all of the side characters, and then hopefully make some more content perhaps, and then just enjoy the series again, because I loved the series the first time around. It's very epic, so I'm looking forward to doing that. But with all of my rambling, aside, that is the end of this video. Let me know if you have any anticipated releases. I'm always on the hunt for new things to read, but thank you so much for watching this video. I'll come chat with you down below in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.